You won't believe this, but episode 5 of the Amazing Digital Circus finally drops enough clues to crack one of the biggest mysteries when each character actually entered the circus. Episode 5 changes everything. For the first time, we're given real breadcrumbs timelines, pop culture hints, and character backstories that finally let us piece together the circus's hidden history. Here's where it gets even crazier. Right from episode 1, we're told that Kinger has been in the circus the longest. He's the old veteran, the one who's basically outlived everyone else stuck inside. On the flip side, Pomni is the absolute newest arrival. We literally watch her get sucked in during the pilot. That part's obvious. But what about the rest? Ragatha, Jax, Gangle, and Zubul. Their order isn't spelled out directly, and this is where episode 5 drops some gold. There's a small moment in the bar scene. Jax makes a joke referencing Breaking Bad. Zubul instantly gets it and shuts him down with a snide comment. But Ragatha, she's totally lost. She doesn't even know the show exists. Now, Breaking Bad wasn't just some niche series. It became a worldwide phenomenon after hitting Netflix around 2013. So if Ragatha has zero clue, that means she had to enter before 2013. That alone places her earlier than Jax and Zubul, who clearly understand the reference. From there, the timeline starts to fall in place. Ragatha is first, then comes Jax. After Jax, Gangle, and finally, right before Pomni, Zubul. Even Gooseworx, the creator, backs this up in posts saying Zubul was indeed the last one before Pomni. That one comment from Jax about picking Gangle's name? Yeah, it seals the order perfectly. So to recap, Kinger has been here forever. Ragatha shows up sometime after him, but before 2013. Jax enters next, then Gangle, and then Zubul. Finally, Pomni stumbles in last. It's such a tiny moment, but it completely reshapes how we view their timelines. And here's where it gets even more fascinating. The circus itself literally couldn't exist before 1995. Why? Because the computer running it is clearly a Windows 95 setup, from the chunky monitor to the classic speakers. That instantly gives us a starting point. Now, take Kinger. He's been inside longer than anyone. Gooseworx even confirmed he's 46 years old. If we remath and imagine he entered around 1,995 at the youngest possible age, say 18, he'd be exactly 46-inch 2023, which perfectly lines up with the year the pilot dropped. Coincidence? Maybe, but it feels a little too precise not to mean something. Of course, Kinger could have been older when he first got sucked in. Maybe he had direct ties to the C&A company that created the game. But no matter how you slice it, Kinger has to be one of the first victims. Now, here's where pop culture becomes our time marker. Breaking Bad aired in 2008, but it didn't really explode until it hit Netflix around 2013. In episode 5, Jax drops a Breaking Bad joke. Zubul laughs immediately, but Ragatha? She's totally clueless. That's a dead giveaway. It means Ragatha entered before 2013, while Jax and Zubul entered after. Then there's the slang. Jax casually uses the word YouTuber. That might sound normal now, but it only became common after the mid-2010 second, when content creators started booming. And when Pomni reacts by saying she doesn't count as a YouTuber because she had no audience, it nails her entry around 2015 or later. Put all that together, and we finally get a clean timeline. 1995. C&A creates the circus program. Late 92nd, pre-2000, Kinger and his wife enter first. Early 2000, 2013, Ragatha shows up. Post-2013, Jax enters, followed by Gangle and then Zubul. 2015-2023, Pomni gets pulled in. It's crazy how a few throwaway references, a Windows desktop, a Breaking Bad joke, a YouTube comment suddenly map out decades of hidden history. But wait, it takes an even darker turn. If you've been paying attention, you might have spotted a strange NPC lurking in the circus. Some fans say he first appeared in episode 1, others say episode 3. Either way, he's been around way longer than any other NPC, and that's not normal. Here's why it matters. Since this NPC showed up, Bubble has been acting completely out of character. Remember Bubble's usual cheerful tone? Suddenly, it's swearing, glitching, and dropping lines that feel corrupted. That glitching isn't random, it mirrors what happened to Gummy in episode 2, who literally died after overstaying its welcome in the system. That's the first big clue that something's wrong. Then comes Kane's reaction. When Zubul casually suggests keeping the adventures open all the time, Kane immediately snaps back. Are you hearing this, Bubble? He's not just annoyed, he's warning. Kane knows that leaving AIs running too long breaks the system, and that's the terrifying part. This NPC's constant presence might be slowly eroding the circus itself, weakening the safeguards, corrupting Bubbles' filters, and maybe even giving Kane access to things he shouldn't have. In short, the longer this NPC sticks around, the more the circus unravels. And here's where Episode 5 really bends the rules. From the very beginning, Kane himself explained that he doesn't control the minds of the characters. He only designs the world they live in, the adventures, the props, and the story setups. Their personalities and choices, completely their own. At least, that's how it was supposed to be. But then, Episode 5 throws a curveball. Suddenly, Jax becomes a vegan, and it isn't by choice. Kane directly changes his diet, leaving Jax totally confused. This is a huge deal because it means Kane is now reaching inside their minds, something he claimed was impossible. So, what's going on? The most likely answer is that the system is breaking down, thanks to that persistent NPC and the prolonged AI activity. When too many AIs stay active, the built-in safety checks start collapsing. That's why Bubbles' language filter completely failed. That's why Kane now has access to thought processes he shouldn't. And that's why the cast are slowly experiencing moments of mental confusion, where they can't tell what's real and what's manipulation. Basically, the circus is rotting from the inside out, and Kane might end up with full control over the characters' identities. But it gets even darker when you think about where this is all heading. If the NPC keeps surviving, Kane will almost certainly start tampering more and more with the characters' thoughts. And here's the real nightmare at some point. The characters won't even know which parts of their personality are real and which parts were implanted. Imagine slowly forgetting if your jokes, fears, or memories actually belong to you or if they were written into your head by Kane. That level of psychological horror could push multiple characters toward complete breakdowns. And let's be honest, this show has been setting us up for tragedy from the very beginning. Gooseworx has repeated countless times that the Amazing Digital Circus is not a happy show. It's not for kids. It's sad. It's traumatic. And it's built around the concept of existential despair. At least one cast member will probably completely lose themselves to the system. The circus may spiral out of control. And if it ends the way it began, we're looking at a finale where escape is impossible, hope is gone, and the tragedy feels inevitable. It's bleak, but that's exactly what makes Episode 5 so chilling. At its heart, the Amazing Digital Circus isn't just about flashy animation, quirky humor, or surreal adventures. It's about the terrifying question of identity and existence. The characters aren't simply performers in a circus. They're people who were uploaded into this virtual world against their will, stripped of control over their fates. Episode 5 reinforces this theme more strongly than any other, reminding us that beneath the bright colors and whimsical carnival setting lies a world built on despair. Every character in the circus struggles with the same existential crisis. Who am I if my choices are controlled by code? Pomni desperately wants to go home but keeps being told there's no exit. Jax hides his fears with cruelty. Ragatha tries to remain optimistic even while cracking inside. And now, with Kane's powers seemingly crossing a line into mental manipulation, the very foundation of selfhood is under threat. If the system can alter memories, diets, or behaviors, then how much of the characters' personalities are truly theirs? This horror, the erosion of identity, is what makes the series so disturbing. The juxtaposition of a cheerful circus aesthetic with the characters' silent suffering is no accident. The show uses bright visuals as a mask, while the audience sees the nightmare underneath. Episode 5, with its introduction of the NPC anomaly and Kane's strange new abilities, signals a tragic trajectory. It's no longer just about surviving the circus games, it's about resisting the complete loss of individuality in a world that wants to rewrite you. That emotional tension, fighting to hold on to who you are when even your own thoughts may not be yours, is what elevates the Amazing Digital Circus beyond satire. It's not just a digital trap, it's a reflection of human fear in the age of AI. Episode 5 is the turning point. Timelines clarified, NPC mysteries deepened, and Kane's AI safeguards collapsing. This reveals the truth. The Amazing Digital Circus isn't whimsical, it's heading toward a chilling, tragic finale.